Thank you for joining us at this hour. I'm Daniel Choy, here to provide you with the latest. South Korea has slammed North Korea for calling off a round of high-level talks over objections to anti-Pyongyang leaflets flown across the border. Seoul's unification ministry made the comment in response to the North's recent warning that there would be no inter-Korean dialogue unless the South Korean government stopped the leaflet campaign led by activists in Seoul. The South Korean government called the North's comments regretful and said that Pyongyang would have to acknowledge that unilateral dialogue will get the regime nowhere. South Korea proposed high-level inter-Korean talks to Pyongyang back in August, and North Korea voiced its agreement when a high-level delegation made a surprise visit to Seoul last month. North Korea has a new device that could spell trouble for the region. It may take a year or two for the regime to finish testing the device, but military officials in Seoul aren't taking any chances. They are already moving to counter the threat. Connie Kim reports.
In what appears to be a new threat from North Korea, Pyongyang has reportedly launched a new submarine capable of firing ballistic missiles. Government and military sources in South Korea say Pyongyang has imported a Soviet-era Gulf-class diesel submarine built in the 50s and modified it. Sources say the newly launched vessel is identical to an unidentified submarine at the Sinpo shipyard that the U.S.-based website 38 North revealed last month. The new vessel is estimated to be 67 meters long, 6.6 meters wide, and has a dive displacement in the 3,000-ton range. Adding to the concern about the new submarine is the operation of a test facility at the Sinpo shipyard that 38 North reported in October. It was reported the North has carried out dozens of tests on the ground and at sea to mount a missile tube on the vessel. A military source in Seoul says Pyongyang's new submarine will pose a threat if the North completes testing for vertical launch of missiles, estimated to take 2 years at most. To counter the threat, South Korea plans to launch 3 3,000-ton submarines with vertical missile launch tubes by 2020 and an additional 3 by 2030. Connie Kim, ARIRANG News.
Moving on to the latest in a series of disputes over history and territory between Korea and Japan, lawmakers and the government in Japan are raising questions about a history book co-authored by teachers from the two countries. Japan's Sankei Shimbun reported Sunday that Japan's Liberal Democratic Party objects to a part of the book that says Japanese military forced Korean women into sexual slavery. It says the section is one-sided. The Education Ministry echoed the comments, saying the material should not be used as it does not present a balanced view of history. The book was published 2 years ago by teachers from the Daegu branch of the Korean Teachers and Educational Workers Union and the Hiroshima Prefecture branch of the Japan Teachers Union. The families of the victims of April's ferry disaster have decided not to reject an agreement on 3 related bills reached last week after months of political wrangling. The families met earlier this Sunday evening to discuss the agreement, saying afterward that they respect the difficult process by which the agreement was reached, but say they cannot fully accept the bills. They also propose changes to the bills. The bills give the families a greater voice in selecting investigators for the case, among other things. The tragedy left over 300 people dead or missing, mostly high school students. And President Park Geun-hye is set to attend a series of regional summits in China, Myanmar, and Australia. According to her senior foreign affairs secretary, the president will be in Beijing for 4 days starting November 9th to attend a summit of the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Forum. From there, she will fly to Naypyidaw, Myanmar for the East Asia Summit and a summit between member nations of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations and its 3 Northeast Asian dialogue partners, South Korea, China, and Japan. She will then visit Brisbane, Australia for a summit of the G20 Advanced and Emerging Economies. The president will return home on November 17th. A record number of Chinese tourists flocked to Korea last month during their National Day holiday, and another group is expected to arrive this week. Our Kim Min-ji reports on the reason behind the unexpected visit.
With air pollution reaching hazardous levels in the capital, Beijing has granted its citizens a 6-day holiday as part of a plan to provide visitors to next week's APEC summit with some relief from the smog. Private companies will be free to use their discretion, but public organizations and schools will be shut down from November 7th to the 12th, and cars will be limited on the roads. In light of that, many citizens are planning to use the opportunity to head overseas. Tickets for flights to Korea have jumped threefold to about $1,600, and it's no different for destinations like Japan or Hong Kong. But the price hasn't put potential tourists off, with nearby overseas destinations almost fully booked.
Tickets to Korea or Japan during the break have all been sold out.
This mini holiday comes just a month after China's National Day holiday in early October. While many Chinese workers are looking forward to another week off, some have been critical of the government for not being able to come up with an appropriate plan for tackling the smog. Kim Min-ji, ARIRANG News.
Unfortunately, Chinese fans of Korean dramas will soon have a harder time keeping up with their favorite shows. According to Chinese online newspaper Renmin Wang on Sunday, the State Administration of Press, Publication, Radio, Film and Television is set to announce its strictest regulations yet on online streaming of foreign TV shows. Distributors of online content will be required to acquire licenses and report to proper authorities when the content is posted. Under similar regulations imposed on films posted online, violators face fines of around $8,000 and could be punished for a criminal offense. Korean dramas will only be aired in China after 6 to 12 months, during which time Chinese authorities will review the content. American TV shows are also expected to be affected, as Chinese censors have long considered them too explicit. Foreign investors hold more than half the shares in Samsung Electronics as of Friday, 52.23% to be precise. According to data from the Korea Exchange and financial sources, that's the highest proportion since June 13, 2006. In other words, an 8-year high. This comes despite the company's overall selling mode on the local stock market. Last month, offshore investors bought a net $825 million worth of Samsung shares. Market watchers say foreign investors seem to consider Samsung undervalued, despite growing worries over its performance. There was a shadow of doubt looming over Sir Richard Branson, as he was not exactly optimistic about his latest venture. Following the recent crash of a Virgin Galactic spaceship, he said, "We're not going to push on blindly." During a press conference on Saturday, the founder of Virgin Group reflected on how the tragic explosion will affect his dream of commercial space tourism. He said, if they can overcome it, they will make absolutely certain that the dream lives on. On Friday, Virgin Galactic's test craft went up in flames in the skies above California's Mojave Desert, killing pilot Michael Ellsbury and seriously injuring another. The investigation into the crash is ongoing. Islamic State militants have executed more members of a Sunni tribe that is resisting them in what appears to be a mass execution campaign in Iraq's Anbar province. The leader of the Abu Nimr tribe says that around 50 tribesmen were abducted by the Islamic State on Saturday and likely killed in the ongoing campaign. The bodies of more than 200 tribesmen were found in a mass grave last week. The tribe, which is allied with the United States, is best known for standing up to Saddam Hussein at the height of his power in 1995 for executing a noted tribesman. U.S. officials believe that tribes such as the Abu Nimr are a key part of a larger U.S. strategy to push back Islamic State fighters. But first, they say the Shiite-led Iraqi government must give its approval and be ready to arm the tribes. Moving on to sports. Park In-bi carded a total of 22 under to win the LPGA Taiwan Championship title in Taipei on Sunday, her third crown of the season. The title practically had Park's name written all over it in the second round when Park fired a stunning 10 under par to take the lead. The champ easily overcame strong winds to cement her world #1 ranking, which she'd snatched from American Stacey Lewis on October 27th. Lewis had held the top position for the previous 21 weeks. World #3 Lydia Ko finished third. The onset of cold weather often means more people will be catching cold. If you're looking for a natural remedy for fending off the sniffles this winter, drinking tea is a good start. Our Son Jung reports on what kinds of herbal teas are the most effective.
The breezy, chilly weather at the beginning of winter makes people want to reach for a soothing cup of herbal tea.
They don't just warm the body and mind, but also come with healing benefits.
I drink organic tea because unlike coffee, it has a soft flavor and gentle aroma that suits the cold weather well.
Herbal teas also help protect the body during cold season by maintaining a normal body temperature. They can also be a great source of vitamins and minerals.
In the winter, herbal tea can give your body extra moisture to stay healthy. Teas made from dried jujube, mugwort, honey, and ginger are most effective during the season.
Dried jujube tea helps ease insomnia, while ginger and cinnamon tea are great for preventing colds. Green tea can benefit those with weak hearts, and chrysanthemum tea is ideal for people with weak livers. It is also important to keep the water at the right temperature when brewing the leaves or dried fruit.
Herbs of low fermentation like green tea should be steeped in water lower than 70 degrees Celsius to avoid a bitter taste. Teas with high fermentation like black tea should use boiling water to get a better flavor.
And to really get the full benefits from drinking herbal tea, experts advise that you steep the leaves long enough to really bring out all the healthy properties. 손정인, ARIRANG News.
And now the weather. It seems the autumn days are numbered here in Korea. Those in the central region can expect the daytime lows to plummet to as low as 2 degrees Celsius this week, with a high of 14. Here now are the weather conditions outside of Korea. Well, that's all from us. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great start to your week.